everybody, welcome back to our Let's Talk series featuring the Bill of Rights.
Today we will be discussing the 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendment and how they apply to you as a student. Now keep in mind these amendments have to do with our legal process, but we still feel that it's important for you to learn them as you go over current events and prepare for life after high school. So let's get started.
So here's the text of the 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendments. The 6th Amendment says, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. The 7th Amendment says, in suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. And Amendment 8, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
Like we mentioned earlier, these amendments have to do with our legal processes in both criminal and civil courts. Now, the 6th Amendment breaks down the rights for a citizen to have a fair trial, the first of which is the right to have a speedy and public trial. Now, of course, we know different cases move at different speeds throughout the court system. This does not necessarily mean that the trial will happen immediately, but it does mean that the government cannot intentionally hold someone in jail by delaying a trial. The language about a public trial was included to prevent the government from holding a trial in secret.
The 6th Amendment also provides the right to an impartial trial by jury, but this only applies in cases where the punishment could be more than 6 months in prison. Both prosecution and defense lawyers interview potential jurors to prevent bias on either side. Along with all of this, the defendant is legally guaranteed a lawyer, and if they can't afford one, the government will provide one.
Now let's move on to the 7th Amendment. This amendment lays out a defendant's right to civil cases, giving the defendant the right to trial by jury and preventing federal judges from overturning jury decisions.
So, have you heard the phrase, let the punishment fit the crime? Theoretically, the punishment for the crime should be comparable to the crime. That's the basic point of the 8th Amendment, which states two things. 1, that excessive bail or fines can't be required, and 2, it protects the defendant from cruel or unusual punishment. That second point can be pretty controversial, so let's start with the first part.
Right, so bail is the amount of money someone can pay to remain out of jail until their scheduled court date. The amount of bail a person has to pay can depend on the seriousness of their crime. For a judge to set the bail too high would be the same as denying bail altogether. A judge also cannot set excessive fines. For example, the fines for jaywalking should be different for the fines for reckless driving.
That's right. Now, for the second part, which prevents cruel and unusual punishment. Broadly speaking, things considered cruel and unusual by most people include torture, instruments of torture, and anything considered barbaric or inhumane.
Now, the controversy revolves around what exactly constitutes as cruel and unusual. What type of punishment is considered torture, for instance? And is the death penalty considered cruel and unusual? Through all the gray areas, it is important to remember that the Bill of Rights' goal was to build a country by and for we the people.
We know that these amendments might not have an immediate impact on you as a student, but it's important to know your rights and responsibilities as a citizen, both now and after high school.
And as we always say, don't forget to ask questions. Also, please connect with us on Instagram and our YouTube channel, and we will see you guys in our next video.